You don't have to pay the big bucks to have your space looking like a professional organized it. I want to empower you to do this at home yourself with my 8 decluttering baby steps. As an ex-professional organizer, I used to go into people's houses, and the number one thing that people struggled with was, I'm so overwhelmed, where do I even begin? My goal in my heart was to really create a lasting change in people's homes. And I believe you can only do that by doing the work yourself. How do you do the work yourself? My baby steps. You're gonna go through each day, day by day, step by step, and it's gonna take the overwhelm out of the process and you'll feel empowered to do this yourself. Baby step number 1, define your why. Defining your why is really important because you'll have that why to refer back to when you want to give up. Step number 2 is setbacks. Setbacks are the number one thing that we can plan for and have a plan in place when things do go wrong. It's not if things are going to go wrong, it's when things go wrong. Do you have a messy family? Do you not have time to organize? Are you addicted to online shopping? And so maybe your problem isn't getting the clutter out, maybe it's bringing it in. You always need to anticipate setbacks. Baby step number 3, set a timer. You might not think this is important. It's very important because you're setting a timer, which is programming your brain and telling your brain when to stop. I want you to get in the habit of teaching your brain it's okay to stop and come back to what you were working on later. Start out with small intervals. I always suggest starting out with 15 minutes. If you feel like you can keep going, keep going. Baby step number 4, start small. Sometimes we go into our house gung-ho and we're like, I'm gonna declutter the whole room. We take everything out and then we look at the big mess and we're like, why did I do this? Do not, I repeat, do not try to do the whole room in one setting. I can do a whole space in one day because I'm trained. I've had a couple years under my belt of practice with this. So if you start small, I suggest starting with a bathroom, a drawer, a cabinet, something easy. And then you're building that decluttering muscle, you're building that organizing muscle, and you're working up from there. Step number 5, minimize. What you're going to do is you're only grabbing 3 different boxes or 3 different trash bags. What am I keeping? What am I donating? And what am I throwing in the garbage? Now, I love this method because you can take the boxes to any space you're decluttering, and then when your timer goes off, you're not left with a big mess. You have your boxes. I take mine back out into the garage, and then I can start up without the mess whenever I want to set my timer again. The keep box is also really important because sometimes we don't feel like shoving our stuff back in the cabinet. Sometimes we don't feel like that because our cabinet is nice and clean now. We don't want to just shove stuff back in. So you can keep that keep box until you move on to the next step, which I'm going to tell you now. Number 6 is organize. Now, when you think organize, sometimes I think, oh, that's when I'm doing all the work. Organizing on this baby step is literally just measuring your empty cabinet, your empty drawer, figuring out what I need to buy, what product do I need to buy for the space. If you already have product, if you already have containers, please use those. Please do not go out and buy more product. Sometimes we throw more product at the problem, and that's not the problem. The problem is the clutter. You always have to declutter first. So stop throwing containers at the problem, and you're gonna just measure your space. If you wanna buy new containers, that's great. We are organizing for the space, okay? Step number 7, categorize and contain. So you've measured your space, you have your product, you're gonna place your product back on the shelf, right? And then you're gonna take your keep box and what's left in your keep donation box, you're gonna sort into piles. This is where the categorizing comes in. You're gonna take your item and you're gonna say, oh, this is a hairbrush. It's gonna go with hair. This is shampoo. It's gonna go with soaps. This is a ponytail, hair. Don't overcomplicate it. Keep your categories really big and broad. You typically don't want small categories because small categories are hard to organize and you need a lot more containers the smaller your categories are. So if you only have 7 containers, you only have 7 categories to work with. Finally, step number 8, and this is the most important step, maintain. Now, it's the most important step because oftentimes we'll do a huge decluttering, we'll feel like our house and our life is under control again, and then all of a sudden, a couple months go by and we're like, I feel overwhelmed again. It's probably because you weren't maintaining your space in the first place. You have to keep up. Decluttering is a lifelong process. I have a laundry hamper that I keep in a dedicated spot, and as I'm going throughout my days, if I find I don't need something, that I haven't used it in the past 6 months, that I'm not gonna use it 6 months from now, and that I don't love it, I'm gonna put it in the donation box. We've done it. I'm too pregnant, I'm out of breath. I'm gonna let you go. If you want more tips, if you wanna see how I break down these baby steps, I'm gonna post more videos just like this. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, and don't forget to download your free worksheet. See you next time.